Hey guys, welcome to Inner World Crafts. It's my inner world and these are my crafts. I am Ember, perhaps? It's a bit blurry. I'll let you know if that clears up. I'm accompanied by this mannequin here that is roughly the shape of my body. And we're gonna try to use this to make a Gale cosplay. I have lots of fabric in various colors. I'm going to be trying to make the blue warlock robe thing. A little disclaimer, I don't actually know much about Baldur's Gate. This is for a group cosplay. I do not have the ability to play. However, I'm very excited to make this cosplay. Ooh, oh yeah, okay. So, I have this blue fabric with these tiny little details on it that I think would be perfect for Gale, accompanied with bits of this darker royal blue, and I have a little bit of blue velvet accents that I might try to add in. We're gonna start with this. So the first thing I want to do is take a piece of this and see like what we've got going here, because we got a lot going here. Okay. So starting with sort of like the chest piece, you know, I want it to come out this way. Like that. So this will come up over the edges here, like that. You know? Like that. Is like a sort of crisscrossy section going on here. See that? Yeah, like that. Now we want a crisscross section. I think this side's bigger. So this side will go on the bottom. No. I should pin a neckline. This one is going to come down here and meet the back here. Like that. So the opposite shoulder connects to the back of the other side. And it will go all the way down like that. Ta-da! We have one. Now we must do the other, which will connect on the other side, like so. And then see, your head goes in here. Yeah, that's pretty much exactly what I wanted. I feel like that needs to be a little bit lower though. That's better. Much better. Yeah, so we have this like crisscrossy shit going on. Because that's kind of what we want. Yeah. I still feel like this needs to be smaller. Okay, so now we have to get it off the mannequin and sew it. Now that I've got it off, I'm going to turn it inside out and we're gonna do a lot of sewing. Okay, so I haven't quite finished all the sewing yet, but I've done a lot of it, and this is what I have. I know it looks really skinny and stuff, but all these folds here, this is the back, see all these folds, it's gonna stretch out and be much bigger. I had to pin these down to see where I was sewing, and yes, it's going to look really fucking weird, and you're not gonna see the coat at all. It's just gonna be a wad of fabric as you're sewing, but trust the process. And after we finish sewing all these details, the armholes, the neck, and then sewing these bits down, we're gonna try it on and see how it came out. And voila, this is what we have. This is not quite, it's looking like that because I haven't sewn this down here yet. When we do sew this down here, these folds will be, more in there. So this will look better later on. But right now, it looks a little bit rough. But that's okay, because we have at least the beginnings of Warlock. I do like that. I changed some things. I took it off the front, or the inside, and I put it on the outside. Obviously, this doesn't have its folds. Once it's sewn, you'll be able to see them better, and it'll look better. But for now, we have this. Okay, so borrowing my cat's cat tree for a moment, I have pinned bits and pieces to keep these folds, ruffles in here. I'm gonna do tiny little stitches to kind of keep them there, but I'm still gonna leave them loose. I'm not gonna actually sew the entire fold. And then I also have to sew the bottom of this here before we can go on to the next part, which will be adding the skirt. Okay, so now that we have the folds pinned or sewn, we can pin on the skirt portion. Okay. A skirt is probably going to be a little bit too long, but we're going to make edits once we have the body put together. So we're going to sew this. Sew a few little bits up there, folds up here. Hem the line of the skirt. And then we have the base of the robe made. Sup, it's Victor, and we're going to continue the Gale cosplay. I have sewn on the skirt with a little opening in here. I've repositioned the scarf thing, and I'm gonna re-sew that in. But I think it is a bit long, so I'm gonna turn it inside out after I sew this scarf in place and take it in a bit, and we'll see how it looks from there. So we have a robe situation, a very, very long robe situation. See, and that's kind of what I meant by it starts out as a mess and it'll get better. I think my plan is to make some kind of ruffled white collar button-up shirt to go under it. I'm also gonna build some sleeves in. We still have plenty of things to do to hit him. It's a new day and I have no idea who is in the front, but we're gonna work on Gale. The sleeves pinned on and shut here. We're gonna go ahead and sew that. I have sewed the sleeves on and I have attached a little bit of elastic there. And ta-da! We have two halves, as if you were to cut the pattern, cut it back to its original pattern, but only below the elastic. Now I'm going to set this piece aside for a minute and cut this half into a couple strips. Okay, so I'm gonna do about 5 strips. And you wanna do that to all of the ends. All of them. And once that's done, it should look like this. And then you're gonna hem the edges of each strip on both arms. So I will be back. Hi, I'm Sal Fisher. Yes, fictives do exist here. And I don't want to hear any bullshit about it, okay? We will fight you. This is a safe space. Anyways, I'm gonna show you guys how to make these. I made one. You see the end of the sleeve. And when you put it on, it goes. It makes this really cool sort of wrap around the arm looking situation going on. That's really cool for a wizard. So we're gonna do that. 3 strips. I have sewn a line of gold into them just for decorative purposes because I think it looks a lot better. And you can see we are going to, you can stay out of my way. We are going to separate them out so they are all flat, and then we're just gonna weave them together. This one will actually have to go under like that. Yeah. Trying to keep all of them as flat as possible. They are going to fold, of course, but we want to try to keep everything as flat as we possibly can. Yeah, literally just weaving them together until you are happy with whatever length you have. And I think I'm gonna call it there. And voila, by the end you have 2, 1 on each side, and then you just sew the edges together, and that's it. Goodbye. Okay, so after everything, here's your update on what we have so far. So we got a little opening here. We have these wraparounds here. And what I'm going to do with these is I'm going to take these leather strips and I'm going to decorate them. But when we put them on the ends here, makes an ending for the sleeve. You see that? Here's what we have so far. And I'm quite pleased with the result. See the elastic straps up there so that these sleeves are poofy like so. I did want to make it able to open. I'm not sure if we're gonna actually be able to go through with that. However, I can make it look like a faux cloak, because typically it's just a dress. Okay, let's see what happens when we do that. No, just up underneath here. Like that. See, so then it looks like it does, and then we'll add some faux clippies here to actually make that shut again. Accenting. I want to do some accents, but I'm not sure how I'm gonna do that. I do think some of this blue velvet would be really pretty. Ooh, so you know how Gale has those little shoulder pads? The blue velvet would be really cute shoulder. Now look at how cool that is. Oh yeah, okay. The velvet lining is definitely gonna make it, especially once I have it all the way around. I'm gonna go and I will come back when I have all of my lining completed. So I've added lining and sewed that on this blue velvet. We have shoulder pads and lining along the flippy flats. So we're going to sew this purple piece in here to give him that sash of color that it has. And then down here, somewhere, right here, I have little claspies that I have to sew on. I have sewed these little strips that I will show you how to sew in the next part. Sew it on there, and it'll clip right on. Ta-da! Okay, so for the straps, I am taking 2 little tubes that I sewed together, putting them a little crisscross like that, sewing a little X there, sewing a box around it, hemming the edges, and we have this little thing. We're gonna put the clasp here, and then attach this to the actual robe. And here is the robe portion, all complete. We have the cross section going on, the little purple that he has. We have the little weaving on the sleeves. This is to mimic his leather arm bracers that he wears. I could not afford that much leather, but we make do. Little opening here. It does not actually open. It is a lie. It's still very cool, looks very cool. Gale is almost complete. Okay guys, so I got this wig, right? And it's very cute. It's a lace front, actually. I really much enjoy. I've put on, this is the cos test for Baldur's Gate Gale. I know the wig's a little bit too light, but it works. We got some leather in there. That's cool. Little belt. Arm links. This is my Gale cos test. And I think I'm really happy with how this turned out. I very much enjoy it. It's very cute. I feel like a wizard. And that's the goal, I suppose. But that's the cosplay. Gale from Baldur's Gate.